You know, I like Five Guys, but I think their burger needs a little bit of a touch-up. You know, they're way better than McDonald's, don't get me wrong. But today I'm gonna show you how to really make Five Guys burger and fries with proper burgers. Let's get started.
Alright, now you want to add 4 tablespoons of milk, 2 tablespoons of water, and 2 tablespoons of flour. After that, you want to mix it all together under medium-low heat until you get some nice looking paste. Careful not to burn it because it burns real quick. Once you got your paste, we can move on to the dough. Now for the dough, you're going to need 2.5 cups of flour, 2.5 tablespoons of salt, and 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. Now you're going to want to mix that all together until everything is incorporated. Once that's done, you want to get your dough hook attachment. You want to start the process of kneading the dough. To do this, let it mix while you prepare a half a cup of warm milk and 1 tablespoon of yeast. Now while it's mixing, you want to pour in your warm milk and yeast and let that mix for a little bit before putting anything else. Then we want to add the paste that we just made before. That's going to make all the fluffiness of the bread come out. Now once your paste is in there and mixed, you want to start adding 2 eggs and let it mix for a little bit before you want to add your butter. Don't put all the butter in at once or else it's going to get clumped up and it's going to be very hard for the machine to dough it out properly. Now from this point on, patience is key. You want to let the machine do its thing. You don't want to rush it too much or you risk damaging the dough. Once the dough looks proper and it looks smooth, you want to start taking that dough out. You want to flatten it, roll it onto the edges and roll it onto itself before putting it into a warm place for it to rise. I preferably just use a cooker, put that on warm, put a towel on top of it and called it a day. Now within an hour or two, you're going to realize that your dough is rising. That's a good sign because it tells you that the yeast is actually working. Now what you want to do is you want to take your dough out, you want to flatten it and you want to cut it into evenly sliced pieces. First off, just cut it off ballpark these sizes. Once you have them all cut, you want to flatten them and you want to roll them onto itself from the edges. And then what you want to do is you want to measure each one of them and make sure they're around 5 ounces. That's a good size, it gets you a good sized bread. Also, we want to make some professional looking burgers, so don't cheap out on the scale. Now once you got all your doughs rolled into balls, you want to put them on a pan, evenly space them, and you want to brush them off with 1 egg yolk. Make sure to coat it all the way. That's how we get those beautiful buns, you know what I mean? Now you can't have your own burgers without making your own ground beef. I don't trust what they put in those pre-packaged ground beefs. So get your own grinder, you know, put the meat in it, a little bit of fat in there too, make it a little bit more juicy, and you want to get some nice looking meat. Texture should be red, and to get these balls rolling, what you want to do is you want to squeeze them on the edges and you want to consistently keep rolling. That makes the meat very strong and prevents it from like scattering all over the place in the pan. Now burgers are meant to be had with grilled onions, you know? And so guess what? I'm making my own grilled onions too. Simple process, put some butter or vegetable oil and then let the onions cook until they get golden brown at the bottoms. Flip them around, get another golden brown, and you get some nice looking crispy flavored onions. Now I don't know about you, but that sure as hell looks tasty. Now moving on to the patties, you want to put them under high heat in a little bit of oil and you want to make sure not to forget to add your salt and peppers. Let it sizzle for a bit until the edges are turned golden brown, and that's when you need to flip it. If this is your first time making homemade patties, I decided not to cut this clip. I just sped it up for a little bit so you can see the whole process before you need to flip it. Now once it's ready to flip, you want to let it sear on the other side. Leave it on for a bit until you see everything on the inside just screaming. You know, it wants to come out. That's when you know the patty's going to be full of juice. Now depending on how you like your patties, you can have them medium rare, you can have them fully cooked all the way through. I ain't judging, you know, but we're just missing one ingredient, and that's the cheese. So flip your patties until you're fully satisfied with it. Once that's all done, if you're also cautious like me, you can measure the internal temperature, make sure that you're all good to go. Once that's done as well, you can start putting your cheese. Now the key, if you want to melt your cheese very fast, is that you want to put a pan on top to keep in all that moisture and everything. Now you should get cheesy patties all the way through. Now this bad boy sure as hell looks tasty, and I'ma tell you that it was the most amazing patty I've ever tasted. Now let's move on to fries. You know, the title of this video is 5 Guys Burgers and Fries, so we can't have a video without fries. So you want to cut your fries and you want to first blanch them. Put that in 250-degree oil and let it sit for a bit. Once that's done, you want to take them out, leave them on for 30 minutes. The more the merrier. And once that 30 minutes is done, you want to put it in another round, but at this time at 350 degrees oil. Now at this point we got everything to make perfect patties and fries, so let's just top up our burgers. Top them up with love, you know, don't leave them hanging, put everything in it. At the very end you should come to it and be like, wow, this is a masterpiece, this was my piece. So let's put that spicy sauce and let's put some lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, the patty with cheese, and you know what, we made grilled onions, so let's put them on too. Fill it up with a little bit more tomatoes, put a little bit more of our hot sauce, and you know what, put that top of the bun and look at this masterpiece. Now let's not forget to put the fries on the side, and you just got the most delicious burger ever. Just look at the juice coming out of it. Hope you enjoyed, guys, and hope you make this at home.